about the flight MH370 of Malaysian Airlines. And if you don't know about it, you can Google it up. That it was an incident that was big time in the news at the beginning of this year. And what happened was that a Malaysian airline plane took off from the airport at Kuala Lumpur at around midnight, and just 1 hour after the flight, it just got disappeared from all the radars, and nobody to date knows where did the flight go. It has not been found yet, and there is no information to anyone what happened to that flight exactly. So let us discuss about that flight, and I'll show you the event chart for that flight. So okay, here it is. Let me zoom it up for you so you can see better. Okay, there you go. I have got a clear idea from that. Okay, so that's a clearer picture. I just paused it for a while. Anyhow, so let's just see the combinations here. Okay, combination 1. As you can see, there is Gulika in the first house. So Gulika is the highly and most malefic planet in the whole chart, and you can see it being present in the ascendant. And then secondly, what you can see is that the ascendant is Scorpio, which is a water sign and represents privacy, isolation, dissolution, and transformation. Okay, that's combination number 2. Combination 3 is that ascendant itself is in the 12th house and is retrograde. So what retrograde means, I don't want to explain it here, but you can read my article on retrogradation, which I would give a link for in this video or in the description. But the 12th house is again isolation, privacy, dissolution, and letting go of the world. So the ascendant being in this house would obviously promote these attributes. And then retrogradation is, if someone is retrograde in a particular house, they can continuously reanalyze and refine the qualities of that house and are too involved in the attributes of that house. So obviously a retrogradation in this house would enhance the qualities of this house in this planet. So that's the second or the third thing. Then number 4 is that ascendant is conjunct with Rahu. Okay. Then number 5 is that this conjunction of Mars and Saturn, which is a significator of machines. If you have not read my previous post on my group, you must do that, else I'll give you a link in description. That machines are a combination of Mars and Saturn always, because Mars enforces the law or the rule and Saturn follows the rule. So a combination, this is what most machines do, they enforce and follow the rule they have to follow. So a combination of Mars and Saturn represents machines, and it's being afflicted by Rahu, which means not following the law, disorder, randomness, entropy, and all those kind of things, and illusions and all those kind of things. So machines under the influence of Rahu in the 12th house mean they don't work well. There's some technical difficulty and they disappear from the view. So I guess this is what happened. There was some technical issue and it just went out of picture. So this is the 4th thing. The 5th point that I see is that Saturn is at 29 degrees and 14 minutes. So I don't know if you read my article, but according to my research, something about 28 degrees and 54 minutes would lose the strength or ability to implement the actions it is supposed to. So Saturn in this chart, from its internal specification, would like to work as a good machine. So it's not working well as a machine. And then secondly, what I see is that Saturn is the lord of the 3rd and 4th house in the 12th house and above this degree. So that means there was obviously some lack of communication on part of the machines. And then the next thing I would like to tell you, number 6, would be that Jupiter is in Aradra Nakshatra again, and it was in Aradra Nakshatra in the 9/11 incident also. And the thing is that there it was being aspected by Rahu. No, there it was conjunct Rahu, here it is being aspected with Rahu. So Jupiter in Aradra Nakshatra having aspect of Rahu another thing. Then the seventh combination would be that Pluto is giving an aspect to Jupiter. And then the next combination that I see is that all the three air signs 3, 7 and 11 are in the 4, 8, 12 triangle. So as I said in my previous posts, what is 4, 8, 12? 4, 8, 12 is privacy, isolation, dissolution, transformation and death. So this 4, 8, 12 triangle is being occupied by the air signs, and all the airy planets, that is Saturn, Rahu and Jupiter, are in this 4, 8, 12 triangle. And then Rahu is aspecting them close enough, Jupiter being in Aradhana Nakshatra. This represents some form of a disaster in the air element. Anyhow, so the next combination number 7 or 8, I didn't count it. The karakas of vitality and life force are the Sun and Jupiter, and Rahu is aspecting both of them from the 12th house. That is another combination you can see in this chart. And then is interesting is that all the three planets that signify the air element, vitality and the flight, that is Mars, Saturn and Jupiter and Rahu also, see their location in the Navamsha. Jupiter air sign, Saturn air sign, Mars air sign, Rahu water sign. So obviously all of this energy related to the flight, related to the pilot, is all involved in 4, 8, 12 and using the air element. So air element plus 4, 8, 12, what do you get? Loss in the air. Anyhow, this kind of thing happened. Besides, this 4, 8, 12 triangle is present in the Vamsha chart too, but I don't like to consider houses in the Vamsha. I just like to consider the sign placement of the ascendant. And what is interesting is that ascendant is same in the Vamsha and the D1 chart. Anyhow, so these were a few combinations that I saw that could clearly show that the flight would disappear, the machines would not work well, and it will not be able to follow its destined path. Now what I see in addition to that is that Gulika in the ascendant, which is rare, is something that causes delays and setbacks. So what happened is that the flight was not able to reach its destination in one go. Setbacks. Secondly, the ascendant lord being retrograde. So retrograde planet would not be able to reach its goal or have setbacks with regards to the external specifications of the planet plus the external specifications of the houses it owns. So obviously, as the external specification of the planet, it is a machine, so the machine did not work well. Secondly, the external specification of the first house is 1, the pilot, and 2 is the flight itself. So these two being retrograde in the 12th house means that both the pilot and the flight did not accomplish their goals. They were not able to get what they really wanted to get. So, and in the 12th house obviously it just disappeared. And then the 6th house, that is taking over competition, taking over the enemy, and its lord is retrograde. So obviously the flight could not win over its enemies, win over the obstacles it was facing. Okay, so that was one thing. And secondly, what I see is that Saturn being retrograde again shows that, in about 29 degrees, it shows that the specifications of the house it is in, they should be enhanced. So it got disappeared from the radars and all those. But the specifications of the houses it owns and its natural specifications should have setbacks. So obviously there was a delay in communication because it being the lord of the 3rd house, and then there was no peace or rest or comfort in the flight, I would say, but that is not something relevant, or maybe there's something else that I don't see. So that is another thing. So basically, what I saw is that the things that, to sort of summarize things, first of all, the retrogradation of these two planets, both of which represent machines, both are retrograde. Then their conjunction in the 12th house, then their conjunction with Rahu, and then Jupiter's placement in Anadra Nakshatra and being aspected by Rahu, and then Sun being in the 4th house aspected by Rahu, Gulika in the 1st house, Pluto aspecting Jupiter, and then this 3rd and 6th and ascendant lord being retrograde and being placed in the 12th house. All these kind of things, obviously this combination would suggest that this flight will not reach its destination, will have setbacks and delays in accomplishing its task, will lose to its enemies and then disappear and do something out of the bound, do something that it is not meant to do, because Rahu makes them break rules and do something unpredictable and random. So news came that the flight had many random flight patterns. It went to a lot of height and then it jumped down and then it turned its path back. It changed its course a lot of times, but nobody really knows finally where did it go. So nobody has an idea yet. So guys, this was my analysis of this aviation disaster, and I hope you found some interesting clues from it. And if you have something more to add to it, you have something additional, you see something that I have not seen, please let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time with another aviation disaster.